I don't know about you, but I'm more interested to see if Deku can finally reach first place in the next popularity poll than whatever the next arc focus with him. Ah yes, it's time for an origin story. Time like this tends to be good for this series or any other ones. Shigaraki has finally remembered his past. In the midst of the battle, we take a closer look into his origin, where his days decay into chaos. I have to admit, my head grew 3 times when I can say, called it! Essentially, it's everything that I predicted, though likely everyone else predicted the same. Regardless, it didn't hinder a solid backstory. Before the main course, the present time chaos has stirred up a notch, thanks to Gigantomachia. Honestly, I have grown tired. It's disappointing how Redestro is resorted to exposition, and more sadly, a fodder. Is becoming clearer with his explanation on how amazing it was for Shigaraki to counter the last time. Sure, it's good to understand exactly how and why, but the fact he has to say like, I trained this quirk since childhood, it became so powerful. But this man, he takes it down in a matter of a second. Incredible. It's done to boost the credibility. If Shigaraki or any league member loses in their next battle against the main cast, I'll probably flip and laugh uncontrollably. After all, this arc was solely made to make them as credible threats. Even so, it's disappointing that Redestro has an interesting concept to unlock, but judging by this chapter, he's doomed to push others strong, like a talented wrestler pushing a bodybuilder in wrestling promotion as a superstar. He's not even paying attention anymore because stress got to him, I guess. Shigaraki maintains his belief. Destruction to all. Fortunately, the chapter shifts to an origin story. Funny, in movies, origin story is considered the weakest link, but in manga, it's the strongest. The backstory has the combination of all the bits and pieces from the previous chapters, now narrated in third person. Although they lined up, it's exactly how I imagined. Of course, there's more to the story as it makes everything clear, aside from one part, but we'll get to it later. The story can be summarized to one line. Rules damage the innocent. It's all thanks to Shigaraki's father, Kotaru. The fathers in the series sure aren't the killing factor. In my last review, I didn't think he was abusive, but very restrictive. I was wrong in a sense, but he's not the worst. At least the way how the story tries to rebound, but more on it later. He became stricter with Shigaraki, or Tendo as he was originally called, because he's 5 and he has yet to acquire a quirk. He wanted to teach him the hard lesson that heroism can only lead to misfortune. In short, heroes are bad. While his father was a douche because of strict policy, the rest of the family weren't bad. The mother took care of him well, even after he was punished. It's somewhat noteworthy that during Tendo's playtime with friends, they roleplay as heroes, and he was chosen to play as All Might because he was nice to them. You can see where this was going, irony and all. All he wanted was to become a hero, but his father won't let him, and his mother can explain the truth. I do like the narration on how Tendo's life was denied by his father's domain. It's a shameful way of life that hardly resort to pure, unless robotic is your definition. Although his mother and grandparents were nice, they can't help his dream because of father. It sounds like a tyranny story, but the ending hints a safer approach, even though the upcoming moment will show the fatal result. The backstory retells Hana's scene where she shows him the picture of Nana as a hero. The additional scene covers the moment where she brought him hope and share a secret together to one day become a hero together. Well, that's a nice sister, but the real purpose behind the moment will become apparent very soon. As hopeful he was, his quirk was beginning to activate unintentionally. Now, this moment feels a bit shady. I understand a quirk can appear at any time. However, part of me thinks he was granted with this particular quirk that can conveniently wipe out a person instantly, controlled or not. What I'm trying to say is, maybe All For One have passed that quirk down to him. Maybe Tendo didn't have one until now, out of nowhere. All For One does have a connection with the family, even if it's solely on Nana. In fact, since All Might exists already at the time, this would be a perfect chance to mock him by using the grandson as a newborn villain. He was the only one that was suffering miserably. So why not manipulate the scene? That way, Shigaraki can't know if he did kill them by his own attention. With all that said, that would be pretty lame because Obito 2.0, here we come. Personally, it's best that Shigaraki did it because he really wants to. It can be the case, but we have to wait and see where this leads to. The punishment scene is upsetting. Once Kotaro found out about the office and the picture, he was damn furious. There are two parts that upset me. The first one is Hana. She got in trouble, but minimized the damage by placing the fault to Tendo. That's rather messed up. But knowing the circumstance, I can't hate her for doing so. It's not like she smiled sadistically during the punishment. Am I disappointed? Yes. But fear can rule anyone. The second part is saddening because everyone was helpless, only able to watch the kids suffer. Kotaro was the tyrant of the family, and all Tendo can do was cry for help, and no one's there to respond. That's just sad. The following scene is a bit complex, mainly due to how Kohi tries to minimize the damage, give a small room of grayness or something. Case in point, Kotaro. During the punishment, he yelled at Tendo about Nana being a terrible woman. Now that would have been awful and downright disturbing, but it's watered down when he read the last letters from his mother. To summarize, she was sorry for not being there for Kotaro, but she will always love him. Wish him the best. It was a nice, sad moment, though serving as a reason to make Kotaro as not much of a bad person is a bit sketchy. I suppose it is setting up for a sadder moment when Shigaraki kills them, but I thought it was fine before. This sort of development begs for a much larger screen time with him, similar to Grisha from Attack on Titan. It opened up for plenty of room to understand the character, as well as carefully used for intent purposes. We were immediately introduced to him as a scumbag, so I don't know it warranted him as somewhat mistaken. I get that it elaborated the reason for his strictness, but for a short backstory, it didn't need to have it. Although he probably wanted to fix it, the damage is done. Tendo now hates everyone. Shame that others don't deserve the hate. Despite the backstory being predictable, including how Kotaro was affected by his mother's death, I thought this was a solid chapter. It's good to learn more about Shigaraki, the main villain. Now, you can argue it's weak to have an edgelord as the main villain because of familiar past, but at least it was nicely told, with his well-presented tone and disheartening scenes that reflect real-life issues. It was captivating. It's clear that he is the what-if Deku didn't get any influence on heroism. Maybe we will get parallels soon. Whew, that will make Kishimoto so proud. The last thing we need, though, is redemption. Otherwise, the coolest guy ever 2.0, here we come! And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. I strongly doubt Kohi is opening up a room for redemption arc for Shigaraki. I understand the series have shonen elements such as feelings or emotions equal a power-up, and that could be the case for Tendo receiving his quirk, but we'll see what happens later on. I don't think there will be any quirk that says talk to convert a person, like it will have his own version for Talk no Jutsu. Let's not get carried away. What do you think of this chapter? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.